So assertive conversations or difficult conversations aren't easy. That's why they're called difficult conversations. And if you've ever had one, you probably felt stressed before the conversation. You probably got your thoughts muddled during the conversation. And after the conversation, you may have felt guilty for having that kind of conversation. So difficult conversations, they are not easy. And I know this from my own experience because I found them very difficult early on before I learned how to communicate assertively. But in this video, if you keep watching, I'm going to share with you my secrets to having difficult conversations with confidence in the hope that's going to help you have those difficult conversations in the future and make them much more easier for you. If it's the first time you're watching, I'm Cara Ronan. I'm a leadership coach and I help emerging leaders just like you build visibility and influence so you can unlock your leadership potential. I'm also a 2-time best-selling video course creator on the Udemy platform for my courses Business Etiquette 101 and the Assertive Communication Skills Masterclass. So I will link to those in the description below if you want to check them out. Now, I release videos every week on this YouTube channel. It's free resources for you to help you develop as a leader. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I release those videos and you don't miss out. Secret number 1 is to tackle it sooner rather than later. So when you're approaching a difficult conversation, you are likely to put it off. You're likely to avoid it. You're likely to make up excuses as to why you shouldn't have that difficult conversation. So you might tell yourself things like, well, I'm being too sensitive, or that person is just going to change, or the situation will resolve itself, or maybe even somebody else is going to say something so I won't have to. These are all excuses that stop you from having the difficult conversation and being assertive when you need to. And I know this because I used to use these excuses myself before I learned how to communicate assertively. But the thing is, the longer you wait to have a difficult conversation, the harder it gets, the more difficult it becomes. Why? There are 2 reasons. So the first reason is the other person will get into the habit of thinking their behavior is acceptable. They'll get into the habit of doing whatever it is they're doing and they'll think that it's acceptable and it's within the boundaries. The second reason is you put up more blocks. As the problem continues, as it drags on, you keep putting up more blocks, which means you have more blocks to overcome when you finally want to deal with the situation and when you want to handle it and get rid of it. So I know you are doing this because, as I said before, these are things that I used to do myself. Now, recently I had to have an assertive conversation with somebody. It was about an issue regarding music and noise in the office. Now, I told myself for a couple of weeks, well, that person is going to change, or I'm being too sensitive, or somebody else is going to say something. None of this happened. I realized that I am going to have that difficult conversation. I'm going to have to be assertive with that person and set those boundaries about what is acceptable noise in the office. Now, I did that. I had that conversation. It wasn't easy because it never is, but I had that conversation because I know how to do it. I know how to communicate assertively. And the result of having that conversation with that person is that I felt a lot of stress release. I felt more in control of my life. I felt more in control of my work environment, which reduced the amount of stress that I was feeling. I was no longer being a pushover. I was approaching the problem. I was dealing with it. I was handling the issue, which made me feel more in control of my life. Fears are quite often what stop us from having difficult conversations or assertive conversations when we need to. But fears can be overcome. The key is to overcome those fears and to not let them stop you from having those difficult conversations when you need to. Now, in the Assertive Communication Skills Masterclass, one of my best-selling Udemy courses, I talk about fears. There's a whole section on how to overcome your fears so you can have assertive conversations with people. So I go into that in much more detail in the course. I will link to that course in the description below with a discount coupon for you. So if you want to improve on your assertive communication and if you want to overcome your fears, there is a program out there, a video course out there that can help you. So I'll link to it below so you can check it out. Secret 2 is to be prepared. So you absolutely need to be prepared for difficult conversations or assertive conversations, especially if it's the first time you are having one, especially if you are new to being assertive. It's completely normal that you need to prepare because If you don't, you'll get your thoughts muddled, what you want to say won't come across clearly, and the other person could be confused about the message you are trying to give them. So you absolutely need to prepare for difficult conversations. And how I do this is I write down what I'm actually going to say to that person. I structure it out, I write it out word for word on paper, and even rehearse it on my own so it's clear and concrete in my mind before I have that conversation. Because if you don't prepare, it will lead to a pointless conversation and the issue will not be resolved. So you absolutely need to prepare. Just like I do with these YouTube videos, I don't create them without some kind of plan, without some kind of bullet pointed script to go by. I need to know what topics I'm going to talk about, how I'm going to convey my message to you. So I plan for every YouTube video that I film. So just like these YouTube videos, you need to prepare for your difficult conversations because that will help you approach that conversation with a lot more confidence and a lot more clarity. So I found the most helpful way to prepare for difficult conversations is to use this 3-step structure. Now it's very simple and I want to share it with you. The first thing you do is you explain the situation. The second thing you do is you express what you want. And the third thing you do is you get buy-in from that person. So let's see what it would look like in a real conversation. I noticed you've been playing music out loud in the office for the past few days, which has been distracting for my work. I'm going to need you to stop playing music in the office, or at least put headphones on. Do you think you can manage that? So this does 3 really important things. First, it helps you express what the situation is. What is the situation you are facing? The second thing it does is it helps you express what you want to change, what you want the other person to do or not to do. And the third thing it does is it helps you get buy-in from the other person, and it helps you get them to agree that they are going to change or they're going to comply with what you are asking them. So this is a really easy 3-step process you can use when you are approaching difficult conversations. And if you want more tips on this, then you definitely want to check out this video above, how to have difficult conversations with confidence, and I will link to it in the description below. And secret 3 is to ask yourself what is more painful. So what is more painful for you? To suffer with the situation, to let it continue on, or to deal with it? Which is more painful for you? Now, this is a question that I often ask myself every time I am approaching a situation where I need to have a difficult conversation, where I need to be assertive with somebody. It's daunting. I get it. It's daunting for me too. But when I ask myself the question, what is more painful for me to suffer with this situation or for me to deal with it? I always choose the option of dealing with it. That is always the easier option for me because I know that if I let that situation go on, I'm going to get stressed. I'm going to get anxious. I'm going to get angry about it. It's going to continue on and it's not going to stop. But if I approach the situation, if I have that difficult conversation, if I talk to that person I need to talk to, I feel relief. I feel stress relief immediately because I know that I am trying to do something about that situation. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to make it the way that I want. And this makes me feel more powerful. It makes me feel less stressed. It makes me feel more in control of my life. Now, these are the things that you will feel as well if you start to approach and have difficult conversations and learn how to communicate assertively. Imagine living your life without things that annoy you, without things that disrupt your work, without feeling stress that other people put on you by asking too much of you. Imagine living your life without that. You can say no to people. You can set boundaries. You can ask people to do things for you or to stop doing things that annoy you. This is your right. This is your right with assertive communication. And that is one of the key issues that I deal with in the Assertive Communication Skills Masterclass, that it is your right to communicate assertively when you want to. So I want you to imagine living your life without those frustrations, without those things that make your life difficult, without those things that frustrate you or make you stressed. Imagine living your life without that. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that make life enjoyable? You can do it. It is your right, but it comes down to you taking the step, overcoming your fears, and having those difficult conversations or assertive conversations when you need to. So as you can tell, assertive communication is a topic that I am very, very passionate about. As I said, I had to learn it myself. It's something I've been through, and now I teach thousands of people all around the world how to do it in my Assertive Communication Skills Masterclass. So I have over 2,000 students in this course. We go through a number of topics. We start with overcoming your fears, which is what stops all of us from communicating assertively when we need to. We go through body language strategies, verbal strategies to communicate assertively. I teach you how to communicate assertively in one-on-one conversations and in group conversations, because I know they can be daunting as well. So it's a 3-hour course that will teach you a ton of things about how to communicate assertively and about how to have difficult conversations with people when you need to. So I will link to that below in the description with a discount coupon for you, so you don't have to pay full price. And if you do enroll, I know you're going to enjoy it. Now, let me know in the comments below how you enjoyed this video. Which secret did you find most helpful for you? I would love to know what your thoughts are, so let me know in the comments below. Now, I will be back next week with another video. In the meantime, if you did like this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because as I said, I release videos every week. So subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when those videos come out. Please like this video if you did like it, because that would help me immensely grow this channel, and share it with your colleagues and friends too, because I know this advice will be able to help them too. So I will see you next week with another video, which is also about communicating assertively.